Greetings and welcome, viewers. I am your host and storyteller, Sylvanov. Thank you for joining us while we delve into the world of darkness with Vampire the Masquerade. This stream is intended for a mature audience and does contain mature themes that may not be suitable for all viewers. This game revolves around a dark horror theme and contains content that may be an emotional trigger for some audience members. Please keep in mind that this is a work of fiction. The views and actions of the characters are not explicitly the views or actions of the actual players. At no time should any of the violence or horror portrayed in our game be attempted by anyone at any time for any reason. Please sit back, grab a drink and a snack, and join us on the shadowy path that is the world of darkness. And now, before we start, please meet and welcome our players for the evening.
Good evening. I am Raven and I play Annabelle the Nosferatu.
And I am canadasamson playing Virginia Stone the Toreador.
And I am the Pesky Paladin and I will be playing James Morrison the Ghoul.
Hey guys, I'm Sailirish on Twitch and I'll be playing Toon the Brujah.
I am Mickey Bear on Twitch and Discord, and I am playing the lovely individual named Major Delaney, Ventru Extraordinaire.
Hey everyone, I am Chase, and I am playing a Thin Blood, Jonathan Keats.
And again, I'm Sylvanov, aka the Dark Druid, and I'll be your storyteller. We're going to jump right into it. Where we left off, we had Toon, Major Delaney, and Jonathan having a moment. Other members of the coterie had gone off to do their thing, to see to their events prior to the powers that be coming in and affecting everything and everyone in the domain of Prince William. Mr. Jonathan Keats pulling a small pint jar from somewhere within his coat, placing it on the table in front of everyone, turning with the words, "That's the Primogen Fiona's blood." At about the moment when Miss Virginia Stone descended the stairs.
I'm sorry, that's whose blood?
Yes, say again.
Fiona, I'm sure you're aware of her.
Oh, yes.
Aware of her.
Don't play coy, Mr. Keats. Where did you get that?
Whom specifically, or just in general?
Let's start with how did you acquire it?
Well, it arrived at my front door, delivered.
Delivered? And who delivered it?
Be one of the Tremere,
Go on.
my sire.
Oh, and your sire is?
No one of importance.
Oh, I'm not asking if you think if... You will tell me who your sire is, Mr. Keats.
Okay. Her name is Penelope.
Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Penelope.
That's all I know.
When did you come into possession of this, Mr. Keats?
About a week ago.
And now is the time that you decide to share with the class.
Yeah.
Is that so?
That is so. I have other people that I reluctantly serve. And yeah.
Mr. Keats, I believe I've said this before, but apparently it bears repeating. Now is not the time to play coy.
I'm not playing.
Why did they give you this blood?
To do research. To copy.
What kind of research?
Copy disciplines. That's one of the reasons why I'm around.
Tremere up to their tricks. That's lovely.
I mean, is anyone really surprised?
No, I do wish Mr. Costa was present right now.
Why would you do that? Am I not enough venture for you, Miss Stone?
Oh no, see, I think Mr. Costa has some things to answer for, including the brilliant idea of leaving Miss Fiona to the Tremere, as obviously they have some.
I did have
Oh, I'm
I did
sure
have
the
a
board's being
picture.
very thorough.
Walter Quince's as well, but I already put that to use.
Oh, lovely. And a
Hmm.
picture is painted. Thank you for that bit of insight, Miss Stone. What? How? Who? I'm amazed any of you are walking.
You know, I am too.
The sheer amount of tomfoolery. And the sheriff. Of course, why should I expect anything from that twit? So your sire, Penelope, who is presumably older than you are, so therefore a well-ensconced member of the Tremere and their chantry and their power structures.
Yeah,
Provided
she
you
plays
with-
off. She plays off my work as hers, and I get to, enjoy certain luxuries and freedoms, and she keeps a good standing.
You don't know her last name, even though you have had this arrangement for the better part of 2 centuries. You expect me to believe that, Mr. Keats?
She has a throw. Pretty sure she will have a throwaway name in a couple of years.
You expect me to believe that you don't know the true name of your sire?
I'm telling
Major,
you.
if I may, he is what he is. And to the Tremere, he is only a tool, as he has
Yes.
expressed many times.
But he has also displayed himself to be moderately clever. Which is why when somebody who is even moderately clever, tries to play dumb with me, I find it to be distasteful and disingenuous at best, quite irksome at worst.
She
Oh, understandable.
We are approaching irksome rather rapidly, given recent events.
she has a name that I can call her by, and that was good enough for me. I don't care about her background.
I would like to insight that.
By all means.
Go ahead. Let's say you look. If you can look at my character sheet, I'm not lying at all.
I'll roll it anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 successes with a critical.
We like that
This
roll,
is
don't
what I
we?
do. This is what I do.
He is absolutely unsure of the fact that he is lying. He doesn't even know that he's lying.
Okay, so he thinks he's telling the truth, is what you're saying.
Absolutely, he thinks it, but it rings in your mind as a fallacy. There's a hint in there of some subversion in the way that he answers. The body language betrays that there's something else to it, but he is unaware of it.
He's unaware of the fact. Okay. So
Now,
clarify something for me, ST. Is it a micro expression that's giving him away? Or does he genuinely believe he is telling the truth? Because if
he
there's
genuinely
like
believes
mindfuckery,
it. there are
Okay,
there
so
are
he
micro
thinks he's telling the
expressions
truth.
that tell you that there's something else to it. The only other thing that you have to bounce that off of is the dossier of the domain at large. The name Penelope is mentioned among those listed within the ranks of the Tremere.
Mm-hmm.
And it
And is there a
also
last-
does not have another name.
Mhm. So there's a Penelope of the 13th generation who's over 200 years old. Interesting. Perhaps not as clever as I gave you credit for, Mr. Keats. Perhaps not as clever as I gave you credit for. Moving on. Sergeant Spears,
Yes, sir.
please have Agent Morrison report to us as soon as possible, please.
I will, sir. I believe he's already en route. He's made mention that has news.
Fantastic. And does anybody know where Mr. White and Miss Annabelle are?
No, sir.
No?
She disappeared.
Yeah, she's a capable Nosferatu, trusted member of the Tower. I'm sure she's more than capable of handling Mr. White and whatever adventures they find themselves currently engaged in. When they arrive, please direct them up here.
Of course, Major.
Mr. Keats, do you have any more blood of kindred?
Be my next question.
Yes.
Yes. Where?
Tim, back where your flop house is.
Ah,
Is this flop house compromised in any way, shape, or form?
it was, but I don't think it would be now.
By what logic do you make that assertion, Mr. Toon?
Well, there was an incident there, but they cleared out, and we haven't been back since.
You
So
do
it is-
understand. You do understand that compromise is a binary state. It either is or it is not.
It's the
I haven't been there. Schrodinger's Haven.
Quantum uncertainties.
But fair. I mean, we got to go get it. Obviously, we can't leave it there. So somebody will just have to be quick and very quiet, maybe.
Nondescript.
Mr. Keats, would you please give
Or
directions to
invisible.
Sergeant Stone as to the location of this place so that
I
he
would
can
like
retrieve-
to go with him as well, so I can. There's a couple other things that I left there.
Sergeant Spears,
Yes, sir.
assemble a team, escort Mr. Keats.
At once, sir.
Mr. Keats, you understand that if you try anything, they will destroy you.
Yeah, that is pretty well established by now.
Fantastic. Sergeant Spears,
Major.
have Mr. Winters lead this team.
Of course, sir. He steps aside and out the door for a moment. Pretty sure it's to issue orders and commands and what have you. You guys are challenging me, keeping me up on this whole chat thing. issues some orders before he comes back into the door, nods at the major, looks at Jonathan and Tim. There will be a car waiting as soon as you are both ready.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Pause. Annabelle, there's a bit of activity outside of the main office inside the warehouse that you've been able to observe most quietly. There seems to be one of the SUVs pulled out to the front of the warehouse, a pair of suited armed individuals climbing in and seem to be awaiting. As they are waiting, another of the SUVs pulls up. I don't believe you've ever seen James Morrison, have you?
Nope.
So another SUV pulls up.
Oh no, I have.
Yeah. And a strange individual gets out of the vehicle. Would you describe yourself, Mr. Morrison?
So, James Morrison, he has short, side-parted brown hair. He's got a neatly trimmed moustache. His clothes are kind of smart, casual, informal, just like a black sweatshirt, dark grey trousers, and he's carrying a briefcase in his left hand.
He gets out. He's confronted by one of the gentlemen. Mr. Morrison, this way.
Yes. Certainly.
Now, as you approached this place, it was a surprise to you to see such a tactical presence. There are a number of paired patrolmen walking a fenced yard. There's a number of armed individuals just about everywhere you look. It looks militaristic, though no one's wearing insignias or ranks of any kind. It seems to you like you may have just walked in on some kind of SI operation. It's not unfamiliar activity. This is very succinct. People are touching earpieces and whispering under their breath. People are being smart and making definitive actions fast from here to there, doing what things need to be done. There is a presence about those gathered that is a little off-putting. There's a darkness here. There's a forebodance, impending anticipation, maybe a bit of anxiety in the air. It's almost as if you could smell a hint of fear in the air. Something's going on here at this place. When you are escorted into the warehouse, you see that, again, there are a number of tactical personnel going to and fro here and there. Off in one corner of the warehouse is a set of offices where you are being escorted to. And very little is being said above the whispers of people talking on communications. Annabelle, you see this individual being escorted by Mr. Winters, the right hand of Major Delaney. Seems to be of some import.
Annabelle is going to find just an individual. It doesn't matter who. She's going to grab them and basically just tell them to let the major know that she has returned from her errand.
Do you drop obfuscation, or are you just kind of like grabbing someone out of the abyss?
I will kind of, if I'm like in a spot, I will kind of be dropping it as I step towards them, so they might not see me. I'll come up at them from behind. So
Like shadows or something. I got you.
yes.
So you definitely get the attention of the person that you approach. There's a quick turn. They acknowledge you. They've all been educated as to who the major's guests are and who are to be expected on the premises. As you approach, you can see him lift a hand up to his ear, and he quickly speaks into it. You are absolutely certain that you've already been announced, even as you begin to tell the person exactly that.
Annabelle is, of course, since she's letting the major know she's there, so she's going to go towards the office space area, since that would probably be the most likely location she will find him.
Okay. James, as you're being escorted to the office, an individual catches your attention out of the corner of your eye. It weirds you out. I think no, you haven't seen her before.
No.
Please describe yourself for Mr. Morrison.
Annabelle is about 5'4". She wears kind of layered, baggy clothes, so you aren't sure about her exact weight, but she is thin. Her face is scarred. She looks like she's been mauled by some sort of animal. She radiates kind of an aura of like darkness around her. And she kind of will like look around at times when she looks around, but she is not moving in the way you would think a normal person would move when they look around like that. So,
and I rolled some wits and awareness for you, James. She is definitely, at least to your mind, a source of that off-putting doom and gloom kind of dangerous feel. You'll notice that other people tend to make room for her without even doing it mindfully. It's almost as if it's a reflex. And as she nears you, it's even more pronounced. Like you feel the need to shy away from this individual. There's just something there. It's almost as if you walked into a graveyard suddenly. It's not something you've experienced with the Major or any of his friends that you've come into contact yet with. This person is different.
So yeah, like his initial sort of reaction is kind of like a bit of a slight sort of shock, and then like you were saying, he just tries to kind of like edge away slightly to stay out of their general vicinity.
Unfortunately, she converges with you as you approach the office, because she's apparently heading the exact same direction. Mr. Winters looks to Annabelle briefly. Miss Annabelle?
good evening.
Point of clarification, everyone should know who Agent Morrison is because they watched the video when I first came in, and they watched the video of his interrogation.
That is true. So Annabelle, you do recognize him.
But what is a ghoul to Annabelle?
Thank you for that. So yeah, you do recognize the poor sod.
Annabelle has Silence of Death active, so she will just kind of she kind of drops it. She drops it. She picks it back up. So yes, she'll look at the man in the suit, the little toy soldier. Give him one of her smiles as she keeps on heading to where she needs to go.
Mr. Winters just acknowledges you, Annabelle, and goes about what he was doing, readying a vehicle. Looks like he's about to leave somewhere. And you continue in, giving James no mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
Correct.
she walks directly in front of you and walks right into the office ahead of you, probably no more than a couple of paces. Jonathan and Tim. Somebody was saying something?
I was going to say, Miss Annabelle, lovely. Hopefully your endeavor was successful and fruitful. I have no idea what it was. Perhaps you'd like to illuminate us.
Annabelle will drop Silence of Death as she responds. Good evening, Major Delaney. I was tending to my own. She will look back at James. My own little pet. She.
Agent Morrison, please come in here. Have a
Yes.
seat.
Jonathan and Tim are turning. Annabelle's entering, followed closely by James as the Major points him out, and Virginia is also seated there.
Oh,
So
a
you-
new face. I do like making new friends. Good evening.
Good evening,
Agent Morrison.
sir. And as he sat down, he's placed the briefcase like neatly on his lap.
James, you
What's
ever
in the briefcase?
felt like a steak? You
Sorry,
ever
what
felt
was that,
like a
storyteller?
steak? You ever felt like a prime rib?
A ribeye, definitely.
You are keenly aware that you are in a room full of predators.
So his body,
Kinda.
like he kind of tenses up and his back's quite straight. He looks over at the Major and he goes, "It's like the briefcase. It's files from my occupation, my cover, I suppose."
The reason I've called you here, Agent Morrison, is I have a task for you. Oh,
And
Miss
how can I
Stone.
help you with that,
May I
sir?
introduce you, Miss Stone, Miss Annabelle? May I introduce you formally to Agent Morrison of MI6? Tangentially
Oh, it's a shame the
also,
Major snapped you up.
but also, more importantly, a member of the Second Inquisition.
Oh,
One of the hunters.
Indeed.
I had a run-in with a couple of your co-workers.
Hmm.
Well, I
A couple
hope
of
it
them
was
gave me a hand. Or was it an arm? I don't remember.
It was an arm, Mr. Toon.
Oh, it was an arm. That's right.
Not all of us are as gauche. It's okay.
And then he looks at Virginia and he goes, "A run-in with some of my associates. How would you describe this exactly?"
Well, one of them is in the
Miss
basement of this facility.
Miss Stone,
Yes, sir.
please. This is not the place to be asking questions of us. This is the place to be answering our questions.
I
Good point.
apologize, sir.
Agent Morrison, the reason I called you here is because I need you to facilitate the delivery of, and he looks down at his file, your patient, Miss Deary, to us.
Ah, yes, Jax.
Quite. She will be remanded to our custody, and you will make sure that no one is the wiser. Are my instructions clear?
Crystal clear, sir.
Do you have any questions pertaining to the task that I have given you?
No, sir. No questions.
Brilliant.
But I have something for you.
James looks around nervously. There's probably a couple beads of sweat that are mildly visible at his temples.
I would like to insight, Agent Morrison.
James, they all begin to look at you a little more keenly as you start talking about gifts. You notice that there is a coroner's body bag off to one side that is clearly not empty.
He looks at the, like, kind of glances at the body bag, and the gaps are being filled in his mind, and then he just kind of glances back, staring at the major. Oh, Lord.
I would just say that's one of us. Don't worry about it.
What are you intuiting, sir?
His intention. Does he seem to have maybe hostile intention?
Murderously.
Is that a yes then?
Yeah. This is his body language betrays that he is absolutely intent as well as nervous, probably a little afraid. And he's kind of locked eyes with the body bag that contains a Maurice Talon.
And I will look at...
You notice
I will look at
he
Agent.
grips
I will look
the
at Agent.
handle of the briefcase just a little more tightly.
I will look at James. Successful on my rouse check for mesmerize.
Yeah.
You
He
will
looks at him and
do.
goes,
You
"Yes,
will
sir."
do us. You will do us no harm.
I won't do you any harm, sir.
What is in the briefcase, dear boy?
There is enough C4 inside this briefcase to turn every single person in this room into pink mist.
Oh, he's so sweet.
And he starts to sweat a little more.
Sergeant Spears.
We'll light up
He's
2
already
cigarettes.
standing right behind him.
What is the activation mechanism for this device?
Well, if you can find it, you might want to hurry. It's on a timer. I cannot bring myself to intentionally pull a detonator, so I would just leave it to time to be what it is.
Left? How much time is left, dear boy?
Not long, sir. Tick-tock, Major. Tick-tock.
Sergeant Spears, get this in a vehicle and get it away.
You should have killed me when you had the chance.
Sergeant Spears.
Annabelle activates Soaring Leap. She's going to jump on Agent Morrison.
Jonathan, you had a finger up?
I was just gonna go to Agent Morrison and it's not entirely your fault.
Many things happen at once. As the Major and James are engaged in conversation, the yes?
Toughness activated.
Okay. The rapt attention of everybody is drawn quite rapidly to the briefcase that James is clutching as he begins to spill his guts about its contents and his intent. As Mr. Sergeant Spears steps behind him, Annabelle leaps across the room. Jonathan, did you approach him or?
Yeah, I was just like going to like walk up next to him and just like trying to talk to him.
Mr. Toon, get that case out of here now.
James, there's a whirlwind of activity as you say TikTok, Major. as you now realize there's a presence behind you. Annabelle is no longer seated. Jonathan is suddenly next to you. And a Tim Toon suddenly looks so much larger.
So, my
Sergeant-
plan. Or are you still describing the scene? Sorry.
Sergeant Spears places a hand over yours on the briefcase. And Tim, go ahead.
Basically, I'm going to blink over there and I'm going to take his hand and said briefcase and blink out into the open and leave that briefcase.
Should throw it.
Well, yeah, throw it high in the air, like with all my strength. That seems fair. Can 24 it up.
Okay. Let me
See, I was
figure
thinking
out
Wonder
how all
Woman.
of this is going to work. Virginia, what are you doing?
Oh, I am watching with bated breath.
You don't breathe, though.
Oh, I know.
So it's been baited for a long time. That looks marinated. James,
I'm
what are
just
you
amused
doing?
by these proceedings.
You get the words TikTok major out, and suddenly this whirlwind of activity, a hand over your own. I would imagine that physical interaction would break the mesmerism, because that would immediately grab your attention.
Is he
Say again, you broke out.
Is he making bond checks? Because I've got a 6-point blood bond on him.
He's making bond checks, and he's literally doesn't want to hurt you.
Fantastic. So therefore, he would not resist Tim's attempt to
Yeah, he's
clear
not.
the hazard.
He's not resisting
So-
anything.
Okay,
You
just
all,
making sure.
You all jumped into activity all at once, so I'm just managing and meshing all that together. Yeah, James, what do?
Yeah.
You feel a hand come over yours on the briefcase, and you're immediately aware of everything you just said was what you hoped were your inner voice, was not.
Quick question.
Yep.
I'm guessing he's not armed at this moment. I don't know if he would be
No,
carrying his sidearm.
it would have been taken from you when you got here.
Yeah. Okay. At that moment, he's realised that his goose is well and truly cooked. He looks at the major and goes, "Your gift made me be able to see and hear things that I never thought I'd be able to. It gave me strength, vigor, vitality."
Pause, because at this
It felt
moment
like-
you're being blinked.
Your hand is not all of you.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
being
the
you're being
suitcase.
literally unarmed.
Are you?
Well,
are
the
you?
suitcase is
Lord.
being torn from your grasp, and the suitcase is now gone.
Oh no.
Yeah. So there's a moment where Sergeant Spears' hand is over yours. You utter a couple of words, and suddenly the briefcase isn't there. You're still holding the handle, but the rest of the
That-
briefcase has been ripped away from you.
That second cigarette I lit, I'm going to hand to Agent Morrison. Just feel like you poor devil.
Sorry, so have I literally just lost my arm?
No, your hand
No.
is there.
Yeah.
You're still gripping the handle
I
of the
was nice.
briefcase. The briefcase is
Oh,
no
right,
longer
okay.
attached.
Yeah.
You're not minding the break.
I look down at the handle and just I'm still gripping it tightly.
Jonathan's trying to hand you a cigarette. Virginia is staring at you intently. Annabelle, what are you doing?
I activated Soaring Leap after you said TikTok.
Right? And you
so,
jump.
So I'm just going to jump on him and knock
Okay,
him to the ground.
As you
Oh.
realize that the briefcase is no longer there, Jonathan is handing you a cigarette, and suddenly you are tackled,
Oh, now, Miss
knocking
Annabelle,
you
let's
and
not.
Sergeant Spears backwards and onto the floor as Annabelle is now crouching over you. This thing that you thought you saw earlier has just become almost deathly. Like if you could think of the Grim Reaper had an agent, this is suddenly coming to mind as she is literally looming over you like a baboon to a wounded chimp. You know, she's looking at you with those eyes, and they're terrifying.
And
Now, Miss Annabelle, let's not bruise our new friend. I think he's got some answers for us here. It'd be a shame to let him go to waste.
indeed.
I wasn't going to hurt him. I just wanted to make sure he...
Oh, yes, do pat him down, make sure that he doesn't have any secondary devices on him.
Whilst this whole thing is happening, he's just kind of muttering, like just random psalms to himself.
Oh, Annabelle is going to be extremely rough in her grabbing of the agent's sides and arms and stuff and feeling him over.
Jonathan, you're right next to
he's
him.
not a bag of meat. He's a person.
Out of
No,
all
he
this
is our
chaos,
would-be
there's this
assassin, Mr.
one
Keats.
calm voice right next to you, still holding out a cigarette as you are now being manhandled by Annabelle.
I'm
As
sorry,
Sergeant
Mr.
Spears
Keats,
wrestles
but
out from under you.
the men and those who worked with them that killed Freddy and Lorenzo are not human to me.
Yes, he is your would-be assassin, Mr. Keats.
Sure.
Oh, you don't care.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
James looks at Virginia and says, "I'm certainly more human than you are."
You're not wrong. But they were good men.
Mr. Toon will be back shortly. I expect to hear the report of his success presently.
And you take the couple of blinks after snatching the briefcase out of the office to the line of sight out the front of the main warehouse and out into the yard. What then?
I'm throwing it straight up. He said it was on a timer and TikTok. So I'm
Okay.
basically with all of my strength straight up in the air.
I'm not going to make you
That's gonna
roll
go
against the
into
inanimate
space.
object.
That's going to go into space. You just Superman that bitch.
Gonna destroy an aircraft.
Into
Oh,
the
the
stratosphere
satellite.
with it.
So
I think
Tim,
I wonder, does it have the velocity to reach escape velocity?
Tim, give me intelligence and streetwise.
And okay. Four.
For successes, your internal brain went, "What the fuck are you doing?" As your internal, not your beast,
Mhm.
Tim's voice, Tim's own mind just went, "I just threw a bomb. And it's going to come down if it doesn't go boom. And it's probably going to go boom."
It's not going to go boom here.
I mean, you can throw it out
Well, he threw it straight up.
or at an arc.
Well, Earth's rotation, blah, blah, blah.
He pulled the
Coriolis
Superman.
effect.
Now,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean he's going to launch it into orbit. He is, in fact, you
Right.
know, Tim
Yeah.
Toon.
I don't know. That's really a lot of fucking. You're talking about supernatural
dice.
strength. That's a
So-
lot.
It's a lot of dice.
So the moment it exits your hand, Tim, you have that reality check thought of, damn it. What do you do when that thought comes in? And it's a very real, loud thought. You're not a bomb expert. You have no idea how long that timer has, or even if it is a bomb.
I guess I'd tell them to clear the area.
Okay, we'll come back to Tim. Mr. Morrison.
Point of order. I would recommend that we all adjourn to the basement.
James,
Sure.
you've been there before. You know the basement he's talking about.
Yeah.
Put the icing on this evening.
Annabelle, you
But as
find
it's-
nothing out of the ordinary on him. Sorry, I'm trying to get through all of you at once.
Fine. That's fine. When
You pat him
the
down,
major
you find,
talks about,
you know,
no, I was gonna say, when the major talks about journeying elsewhere, Annabelle is going to sprout her claws. I pass my rouse check for feral weapons, and she is going to kind of and she kind of grunts slightly as her fingers, distend, and she grows claws, and she is going to grab Morrison by the neck with both of her hands, dig the claws in a little bit, and start pulling him up off the floor.
James, that happens. Her fingers elongate into these Hollywood-esque movie-like clawed fingers as she wraps them around your throat and begins lifting you. Jonathan, you definitely see her popping feral claws, manhandling this guy.
Put the second cigarette in my mouth and I'm smoking both of them.
That's fantastic.
I'm just gonna start walking and be like, just don't put up a fight. Like, it's not worth it, James.
Virginia,
What am I doing?
what are you doing? As the major says, we should leave.
I'm going to pick up the body bag and
Okay.
follow.
So you
Not gently, by the way.
you shoulder up one bagged Telon and follow the train of people exiting the office down the stairs and into the basement. James, are you putting up a fight? You
He's
are no
kind of-
longer the strength of a human, and you know this.
I'm gonna try.
I don't have the ability to give him potence.
Oh no, I've only got I think it's all specs. Like
Yeah, he's got a
that's
dark
right.
law
You got
spec.
heightened senses.
Yeah, I can see how fucked I am right now. Supernatural on a supernatural level.
In
He's
Technicolor, even.
he's gonna sort of try and, but his efforts are going to be futile. But he just
Right.
kind of, I think at this point he knows, there's no way out of this now.
So yeah, there's
His plan is.
a brief struggle when your hands go about his neck, and then there's a pause before he just lets himself hang. There's a tangible giving up. Jonathan, how's this sitting with you right now?
How's this sitting with me right now?
Yeah.
I completely understand James's point of view of being set at a table of monsters, not really having a say, and then like, like getting fucked. So yeah, I feel bad for the guy.
So we get down to the basement.
You do?
Yeah. All right.
I thought you were going further with that.
No, I'm asking. We get down to the basement. Does Mr. Toon join us presently?
Tim, do you go looking for him? Or are you waiting around for the bomb to come back down, or what are you doing?
No.
As people are starting to
basically
scatter in the yard.
Yeah, I'm telling the people basically, hey, that was, boom, be careful.
The word went out that there's an explosive in that case, and they know how to react to explosives. So
good. So then I'm going to head back downstairs.
Okay. Yes, Tim catches up with you a few seconds later.
Agent Morrison, please have a seat. And don't
Am I still
move.
restrained by Annabelle?
Yes. Annabelle will bodily just kind of you down into the chair. and then
I was going to say, and I look him in the eyes again, and I just say, don't move.
Annabelle will release her grasp from his neck then. But she will put a hand on one of his shoulders. She'll put her left hand on his left shoulder and kind of just squeeze a little bit so that he knows that she's there.
Yeah. He winces and then he's frozen.
I unceremoniously deposit the body bag on the floor. Just drop that bad boy down and look for a seat.
There are several around. This isn't like a closed space or anything. This is just one of the rooms.
Major, we might need to come up with a reason for a random explosion that is about to occur, so we don't incur unwanted eyes. Just
do you have any contacts with the local media?
I don't say I do, unfortunately.
In that case, I would recommend you get in touch with the chief and inform him that he is to release a story about some sort of demolitions training tests, blah, blah, blah.
A weather balloon.
And how do you propose I go about this, seeing as last time I did this over the phone, I, in my excitement, revealed too much?
You will call him to you. We will talk to him together again, this time in a much more friendly environment, and we will ensure he releases said statement.
Of course. Shall I wait till after the explosion? Or summon him before there's a boom?
Call him now.
All right.
Major,
I will summon the police chief.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I don't feel that we need to explain it. We're right next to Quantico. They do explosives training there all the time.
Oh, this is a construction yard, is it not?
Yes, there's blasting and does.
Major, there's
absolutely.
a brief blast of heated chatter on the communications. The last bit of it you caught is Winters telling everyone to get back from the device, get back. It occurs to you that it's come down, didn't go into orbit, and it also hasn't exploded. But apparently the briefcase is busted open, and there is indeed a some type of device now kind of crumpled on the ground with the shattered remains of a briefcase.
I mean, Major Winters, make sure all your men are behind cover and secure. It's C4 and it's C4 in the open. It's not that bad. I mean, there's a lot of it. It's going to blow up, and it's not in a confined space, so there's going to be a blast wave, but it's not going to be that much.
There's a cursory acknowledgement of you and just letting you know that the device has actually been secured.
Secured? What?
Secured.
What does that mean?
Sir, the device, it demolished itself on impact.
Oh, so the detonator has been destroyed. Brilliant.
We've already secured the explosive itself, and the rest of the components have been gathered up.
Fantastic. Well done, Mr. Toon. Unintended consequences, I'm sure. Make sure that the blasting caps are separated from the C4, and you know how to dispose of explosives, Mr. Winters.
We will take care of it, Major. We can't hear you, Tim.
Major, you might want to save that. That could be a spicy party favor later.
Oh, I have RDX. I've got way better than C4.
Oh.
Upon hearing this, I'm going to stop attempting to summon the chief of police.
Yes.
Okay.
Cancel the call. He's going to be mildly confused.
Butt dial, right? That's a thing that they say.
I needed to see Virginia a second
Summoning
ago.
takes time, so yeah, you've got plenty of time
It
to
takes
say
5 minutes,
no.
so.
Yeah, definitely saying no.
Agent Morrison, back to you. My dear, sweet, rosy-cheeked, young countryman. Who put this idea in your head to attack us in such a way? Because I'm fairly certain it did not dawn upon you yourself.
I have a mission, and the mission comes first before everything. I tried. I contemplated trying to end you. So but I couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to do it. So I figured the only way was to put a timer and just wait. Try not to think about it.
Tell me something, Mr. Morrison. You say we're the monsters, correct?
Yes.
How many innocent humans have you and your fellow compatriots killed in an attempt to stop us? Does that not make us both monsters? Have you ever considered this? Or is it just collateral damage? Which sounds pretty monstrous to me. I do want to hear your reasoning behind this and how you rationalize. I know how I do. How do you sleep at night, Mr. Morrison?
I don't.
Good.
At all.
We could make you sleep a lot less at night.
I think that sounds like a very fitting punishment. But it is not up to me, is it?
Like I said, he should have just killed me when he had the chance.
Oh, well, you have proven yourself to be, unreliable. However, an attempt to kill me is not something that I'm going to let go so with such a light punishment as merely death.
How do we feel about letting him have a taste of the other side, Major?
James, it's a weird
I do think that would
set
be
of emotions between your lifelong path of fighting these things, being 6 steps bloodbound to one of them, addicted unable even to actively take him out. You can't do it. It's frustrating as hell. But what are you going to do? It's the major. That's the guy. That's the guy.
So
There's a dance of emotions across James's face. He's clearly wrestling with something.
Oh, that's immaterial at this point. He's already shown that he is shite as a ghoul. So, your usefulness to me, Agent Morrison, is at its end.
And may I say so?
No, you may not. Be quiet, Compel. You will get no last words. You will get no last act of defiance. Like so many mortals who dare to assail the tower, you shall be snuffed like a candle.
Oh,
Major.
I think a more fitting punishment would be to let this man become the monster that he thinks that we all are. He's not terribly wrong.
If I
I
had
think
the
that's
right,
too good for Icarus over here.
if I had the right of progeny, I would, but I do not.
Oh, I
And
know.
since I do not feel
Who-
like contacting my superiors to gain the right of progeny, I think I just-
Especially not for him.
Who
No,
is
he
who
is-
is waiting?
You know,
Who has
There is-
the right of progeny?
someone in this room who
Festica.
might not have any sort of sway, but he also is in the good graces of the tower on his own. I think he could be a useful tool in this situation.
I would.
Tell us your plan, Miss Stone.
Oh, there's Mr. Maurice over there.
Pause.
Major.
Just a
I
moment.
would.
James, as they start talking about this, you're compelled to be silent. But what's the conversation in James's head?
In his head, he's, like you were saying, the major's the guy. He wrestled with that. And he tried to sort of think about the mission of the second. He knew that he was tainted and beyond any saving in his mind. And this conversation is, you failed. You let slip. You were bound for hell, and you were going to drag this monster with you.
And at least for a
And you
moment,
couldn't even do that.
he was still talking to you. And then with a word, snuffed like a candle, they all started musing over how best to dispose of you.
Major, I would like to solidify my position in the Camarilla.
This ought to be interesting.
Did I just miss a cue?
No, I'm thinking.
Sorry.
I don't.
Oh,
What do
Mr.
you
Delaney.
mean?
Major Delaney, my apologies.
What do you mean solidify your position within the Camarilla?
Teacher of its ways.
Excuse me?
To be a teacher of its ways, its traditions.
So you wish to embrace Mr. Morrison?
I wish to save a person from whatever malicious intent that most of you have in store for him.
Oh no, I don't term my intents as malicious by any means. I think fair is fair. He took what was mine. Those with him took what was mine. I think the least I can do is take what little bit of fighting strength he has left as compensation. Freddie and Lorenzo were good men.
We've
Mr. Keats, you said you wish to solidify your position in the Camarilla, and yet you, by your own desires, you show me that you have no stomach to do that which is needed.
I am trying to right now.
No, you are not. You're trying to save my would-be assassin? I'm sorry, Mr. Keats, when somebody tries to kill me, I try to kill them right back.
And if I might add, Major Delaney,
He is.
Maurice has already done the creating of progeny without the right.
Oh, yeah.
So I think a little addition to that won't put him any farther under than he already is. I see lots of opportunity here.
The stone? That is brilliant.
Thank you.
It could be a title.
Virginia, I need you to roll wits and politics.
Indeed. Let me find out what my politics are. Okay.
What if I?
It's on.
I'm looking at it right now. Thank you, Kim. And is this considered a social role? Because I can add a die to that.
This is not a social roll. This is a mental
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I have got 5 successes.
roll. 5 successes will do. As this rolls out of your tongue, the voice in the back of your head, not your beast, Virginia's truest voice, says, wait. We're forgetting the accountability and how it plays to one's childer.
And I would be accountable.
Who is Maurice? There's this look on Virginia's face of the internal fuck. Even as she puts this idea out and is accepted so readily by the major.
Oh, I merely said she was brilliant. I never said I accepted it.
Major, as well, I've never done it before, and what I'm told is my kind cannot. So there would be an attempt made, and I
No, I
leave
would
it up
not
to
bring
chance.
I would not bring another thin blood into the world, Mr. Keats.
Not even with the trade.
If I wanted that, I would just kill him.
Well, seems to be no matter what the outcome of this evening is, my position is very at stake by the actions of my sire.
And this is your sire.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, they aren't. You've been a kindred in your own right. You are ancillary. They are not accountable to you, or vice versa.
What if I wasn't a thin blood?
Now we're talking.
There it is. Now there's a recommendation that I can get behind, Mr.
Are you saying you wish to, I think I've heard the young ones call it juice box, Mr. Talon?
Maybe not Mr. Talon. Maybe have an extra gratification of a loose end in the chantry.
The blood hunt has been declared for Mr. Talon. Diablerie of him is authorized.
And have a conversation with Mr. Morrison.
Your coterie mates. Would you see Mr. Keats become, as the author of a children's book so long ago put it, a real boy? Fully
I
embrace.
care less about the path as I do the ending.
I don't know. Mr. Keats is a smart guy. He's lived this long.
I don't know. He
As
doesn't
a
seem
thin
to have-
blood, that's not exactly simple.
No, it isn't. But I wonder what the consequences for Mr. Keats would be were he to perform this action. Because of that, Mr. Keats, we are going to shelve Miss Stone's suggestion that Mr. Terlon embrace Mr. Morrison presently, because your desire to do this carries more weight than some random mortal. Then again, you aren't exactly random, are you, Mr. Morrison? No, you're an agent of the Second Inquisition. You know their ways, their tactics, techniques, and procedures. You can be quite the little firefly. Buzz, buzz, buzz.
We should probably find out if he talked to his superiors about us
Did
and
you?
his position.
Mr. Morrison, please answer the question.
I didn't say a word.
Insight.
Because if they knew, they would have just taken me out.
Oh, I very highly doubt that. They would have put you in a room until
He would have been a
bombs ran
lab
out.
rat.
Holy shit. I picked the right fucking skill set. Pardon my language. I'm sorry.
What's the question
Tim,
and what are you
may
trying to attempt?
I'm trying to insight whether the veracity of his statement that he did not tell his superiors that he was Gould.
Okay.
I have 4 10s.
He
1, 2.
That's a nice
3,
roll, yo.
4, 5. Okay, so I like Tim has the maraca of death. I have the maraca of truth.
It's the old school bone of lies, guys.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, 2, 4,
That's a lot
6,
of successes.
8, yes.
That's a huge roll.
Yeah, with a critical. If he's I want to know his name. I want to know his.
Here's what I will grant for the duration of a scene. I will let you know when there's something to pick up on. I will absolutely let you know. That's a fantastic roll.
This is what happens when you maximize your ability to detect
James
lies.
Has not betrayed the fact that he has been Gould. There is not a fiber of his being that thinks otherwise.
And tell me, how do you feel right now knowing you have so greatly displeased your regnant, your domitor, me?
I'll look at him and be like, say the fucking words.
Sorry, I was having a bit of a brain fart there. He looks and he just goes, disappointment.
Disappointment? Because you failed or because you tried in the first place?
I guess I could say a bit of both.
A bit of both.
Oh, what a conflicted creature it
And
is.
At this point, James just tears just start streaming down his eyes.
I look at him in the eyes and I say, stop your crying.
And he stops.
Oh, but it was so cute.
Eyes still.
Oh no, he does not
wet.
get to. He does not get to show such emotion to me. Agent Morrison, you must understand that you have greatly upset my plans. You have greatly upset the plans I had for you, for objectives going forward, and you have greatly upset the equilibrium that I am trying to instill in the world. This causes me no small amount of distress. Miss Stone is quite right. I believe your fate is best remanded to her gentle ministrations. Say goodbye to your life and prepare to walk in evening. Mr. Toon, he is conscious. Please remedy this situation. Don't kill him. Just remedy this.
You got it, boss. I'm gonna blink behind him and love tap him right on the head, just enough to knock him out.
Tight.
Rousing for
blink
each of these
next-
blinks, right?
You're gonna have to blink
Yes.
next to him because Annabelle is still standing
Can
behind
I-
him with her like
Mhm.
claws partially into his like shoulder.
I'm gonna just a second. I can do this a much gentler way.
Okay, so the whole time Annabelle's had a hand on your shoulder.
Oh, that's right. Remembering this, Miss Annabelle, he is conscious. Please remedy him of this condition. Put him to sleep.
Annabelle is going to pull him back in his
Jonathan,
chair, so like the two
you-
back legs.
Say exactly what you said as she starts to try and manipulate him.
Mhm.
So yeah, Jonathan says what he said. You need me to say it again?
Mr. Keats, what do you have in mind?
Well, instead of possibly giving him a concussion, I was just going to feed from him and let him drink.
I
No.
think that should wait just of yet.
No, Miss Annabelle, please put him in a rear naked choke until he is unconscious.
James, you hear that order, and immediately you feel her alien-like hand grip tighter as her other arm whips quickly around your neck.
See you on the flip side, Mr. Morrison.
Sweet dreams, buddy.
Sergeant Spears, have some men bind, gag, and otherwise relieve him of his senses. Make sure he is secured, shackled, hogtied.
In a cell, sir?
Indeed.
At once.
Once
James,
he's
even
out,
if you resist Annabelle, it's ineffectual. She is inhumanly strong. And it seems quite practiced, as you don't feel as though you've been injured in the process as your mind goes blank and you become unconscious.
once he's out, I'm going to kind of let go of him with my right arm, which I use to choke him. I'm going to push him forward with my left hand, since I still have it in his shoulder, to get this chair right. And then I'm going to let go of him. I pull my fingers out. I'm going to flick my fingers with the blood on the table. Just be like, I hope that was to your liking, Major. Your ghoul is not very wise, unlike mine, but we cannot be choosers sometimes.
I am curious to know how he managed. There was no...
Who was that sigh?
Say again?
Sheer will of strength.
He was SI.
Yes, but he
His
is not
convictions must have run deep.
This is compared to vampiric vitae. His will is nothing unless
Mm.
he had true faith.
Mm.
But I myself, in my entire life, have never run across one who had held such convictions. Indeed, they are so rare as to be mythical.
Mm.
Oh, how delicious his contradictions will be when he arises.
Miss Stone,
Yes, Major Delaney.
how would you like to be his sire? If I could get you the right of progeny.
Oh, I do desire a new plaything, and I think this one shall do nicely.
Very good, very good. I will make the proper requests on your behalf, Miss Stone.
Well, thank you, Major.
Oh, it is my pleasure.
Stable's fooling up there, Miss Stone.
I know, but the other must be disposed of, unfortunately.
Mm.
Oh, really?
After questioning.
Oh, you're referring to Mr. Talon here.
No, the other one.
Ah, interesting.
I do believe his cover might be blown now that I have taken him, and he was supposed to bring me back to wherever he was and didn't show up. So I do think that if he continues to walk in the daylight, it might be poor for him anyways.
Virginia,
The other agent, yes. I
the beast
understand
in
who
the
you're
back of
referring
your
to.
head comes in giggling with a younger you, almost a teenage 20-ish you. Yeah, he probably got fired after 5 days of fucking in the basement.
Has Agent Morrison been removed?
As they're actually taking him from Annabelle, and you see them going. Yes, sir.
Have stand for disregard. See to him, or have a team watching him. Make sure that he is properly secured. That's your instruction. What I was going to say, disregard.
Sir, are you okay?
Beyond that, just yes. The enemy has made a move, and now it is my turn.
Of course,
and one
Major.
does not make turns hate that one does not make their move hastily, does one, Sergeant Spears?
Never.
Prudence
All
in all
tea
things.
steeps in 2.5 minutes.
Indeed.
Major,
yes, I was just about to say, Sergeant Spears, if you would be so kind as to bring in a chair for Kindred to be bound in, so that we can begin our discussion with Master Tellin here.
Perhaps
have
one of the
my
cells, sir.
associates arrived, Major?
Sergeant Spears, have his associates arrived?
He quickly presses to his ear and whispers, I am told they are en route, sir. Should be moments.
Right. Which would you like to do first, Talon or your men, Mr. Toon?
Well, one of my men used to be Talon's. I thought it might be interesting to have him as a fly on the wall. You never know. Might elicit a response, throw him off balance.
Or your man might be able might be able to tell us, give us some insight. I agree. We will wait. Shall we take a break? Take a as Sergeant Spears so aptly put it, tea time, and re-adjourn once this room has been outfitted to hold a kindred.
Yeah, I need to make some preparations, and I need a snack if that could be arranged.
With that, we will take a short break.